Well, hello. What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, what's going on, Kenny Wong? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, what up, Deep Brad? We miss you around these parts. How are you? Hey, Fletch, how are you? Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of coffee police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of coffee beast. You can't walk around here. Well, what's up? It's good to see you guys. Um, Welcome back to Coffee Break. I'm trying to get my lighting right. I look very purple. Hey, Matt, how are you? Good to see you. I'm representing tonight with the Coffee Hound mug, and I got a little double dose in here. I feel like I really need it tonight. Hey, Mark, how are you? Oh, wow. Mark says, hey, Jamar, going with Brumsticks Comics for Creation Luther for profile pic. That's great. And I love Barbara's strip, too. She's great. I like the representation, Mark. That's really cool. Kitty Wong said, what's up to the caffeine fam? What's up to the caffeines? How you guys doing? Checking in. There it is. There's the mug. Sip of coffee for the Ringos. Kenny asked, you okay, JN? You tired from work? Yeah, bro. I'm kind of a little beat up. Um, you know, I think it's, just the nature of everything and too many Zoom meetings and too many this and too many that's, and then the snowstorm and here in the East Coast and shoveling and now it's ice and now it's supposed to snow again and blah 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 blah. So, one thing that I had to do later in the day is I had to take a nap. And what's funny is my buddy Mike Norton on Twitter has been doing really deep studies into napping. He's like, what is this thing you call naps? How does this work? Kenny says, sipping my cup to you. That's what's up, bro. Sip of coffee for the caffeines. You know who the caffeines are, right? Let me shout you out. You know who the caffeines are. Friends and regulars, not decaf. Coffee Break with JN. That's right. Those are my faithful and loyal viewers who come through as much as possible. Just so we can lift our spirits, chop it up real nice, and then go on into your weekend with a renewed sense of vigor, purpose, and spirit. What up, Clean? Hey, JN. Sorry to hear you're feeling blah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You're so sweet to me. What are you going to do, right? We're human. But, this always lifts my spirit. So I'm sure we'll have a good time. Kenny Wong says, naps are great. They should be standard, right? I think I don't even want to say once you hit a certain age. I think babies take naps. Old people take naps. Cats take naps. But somewhere in the middle, it's not cool to nap. But I'm for it. Yo, what up, JRD? Yo, sorry I'm late. Slow drip brew tonight at 30 hours. Be careful, bro. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Yo, got a special guest in the room, Joel Carroll. What's up, Joel? Joel's a fantastic cartoonist. And Joel, give them your socials in the chat. Let them know where they can follow you on Twitter and all of that. Joel's a great cartoonist. And I was just thinking about you today, Joel. I know that sounds weird, but Joel just posted some Mighty Orbots art on his Twitter wall. And I was sitting there for maybe 3 minutes, Joel, right underneath your image, trying to find a good GIF to put there, because I'm all about leaving GIFs under people's posts, and I just couldn't find the right thing. and I just let it go. But thinking about you. The funny thing about that show, and if any of you guys have never seen Mighty Orbots, I might have to just put the trailer on. I mean, put the intro on. It's so good. And Joel, this is all you. This wasn't planned. I wouldn't even have thought about doing this if you didn't show up. There you go. You can actually click on it if you're watching live and you're in the chat. But yeah, maybe I'll put that on. JRD says, Joel, loving the Patreon stuff. I'm just stupid behind. And actually acknowledging everybody's post. Joel, what's your Patreon? What up, Suze? Suze is real comfortable using that Philly talk. I love it. Here, let me find it. I just looked at it. As Joel posted it. It was really cool. A couple of months back, Joel and Scott Kurtz, our buddy Scott Kurtz, had me on their drinking stream, drawing stream. What is it called? Drawing and Dragons? Is that what your stream is, Joel? You haven't done those in a while, have you? And I didn't draw. I just was like disembodied voice making comments in the background. It was a lot of fun. Let me see if I can find that. And at StreamYard, which we streamed from, just made some new options that you can now. What can you do now? Like you can share like whole videos or something. I don't exactly know what that means, but what that might mean, Caffeines, is a watch party, or like maybe we could watch a movie or something. That might be a special thing we do together. What do you guys think of that? I have to research, so don't quote me on that before everybody gets their hopes up. I'm still working on the coffee mugs, one thing at a time. All right, I'm going to play this. This is in honor of Joel. Oh, Dungeon Draw. We don't do it anymore. Why don't you do it anymore? Did you guys have a fight? Why don't you do Dungeon Draw? It seemed like you had a really good audience. Mark says, I remember Mighty Orbots have the theme song about iTunes library. Yeah. Hey, I've been called worse, Cully. Yo, what up, Mizzle Kisses? Yo, holla back. How's the Philly tundra? It's starting to get mad icy, yo. But the sun was out today, so it started to. There's a lot of flooding going on now. But that's just how it works. It's supposed to rain on Friday. So, Mark, hang around. You're going to enjoy that. Enjoy this. Sip of coffee from Mark Manley, my brother from another mother, and also brother to Mike. So we're all family in the manly crew. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can do that. Share screen. All right. Or talk amongst yourselves. Let me figure this out. Yo, we got the beach ball. What's going on? What? Nonsense. We're live, brother. Baby, it's never happened before. It's all right. It happens to everybody once in a while. All right, I'm going to try this one more time. Yeah, maybe I don't know what's going on here. Let me come out and go back in. I've been having some weird yeah, this might not work. Forget it. All right, I'll come back to it. It's not playing nice right now. Just relax. You're real stressed out today. I know you've been kind of tired. Yeah, what up, Paul Pate? Snowing like crazy in Michigan. But you guys are used to snow, right? It's always snowing in Michigan. Mike says we're all family in the Bailey. That's like the main in Spain stays mainly on the plane. Colleen says so we'll be surrounded by mud as the snow melts. Oh, winter in the Northeast. What do you say, JRD? It's living. I'm gonna let you guys kind of talk your talk in the chat. But yeah, it's been pretty nutty here. As it started, what was it? It started snowing. Was it like 3 days ago? And it snowed like pretty whatever. Like I don't want to talk about snow when people who get like snow like Chicago. Shout out to my people out in Chicago and the rest of the middle of America, the Midwest, and all of that. Get crazy snow. Remember that snowstorm they had out in Chicago where it was so bad people just left their cars on the highway and just like they just walked away, left their cars just on the high, right? We don't ever have it that bad, so I can't complain. Yeah, be careful out there, Kenny. Kenny says my back is jacked from shoveling Monday. I got some bad news. A person that I work with at my day job passed, and there were parts of that were related to shoveling snow, and it's just that shit is real, yo. Be careful out there. If you need to take a break, take a break. Take a Gatorade with you. If you're like doing heaving and hoeing, don't forget to breathe in and breathe out. And if you start getting like, just stop for a minute. Just look at your phone or something. You know what I mean? Nobody else needs to die shoveling snow. It happens every storm. Look at Paul Pate. He's a boss. Yeah, snow ain't nothing but a thing. Oh, that's spicy. Carlos, what's up, bro? Carlos says, being away from Philly, you really can forget how bad a big snowstorm is for inner city folks. Streets were a straight mess. Yeah, we were talking about this last night on Pencil to Pencil. We had Jerry Kraft on, and he was talking about like the conundrum. It's like if you're in a place where you can park off the street, or like say like a little driveway or like a cut-in John or something like that. If you park up in front of the house, or like say you're in a parking lot and it snows, hopefully somebody plows out the front of that thing, but they're not going to dig your car out, right? Or especially in the city, you park on the street and you dig yourself out, and then the plow comes by and it just like shoves the snow back off to the side of your car and you're stuck again. Or if your car is like off the street and they plow you in and you can't get out, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like you can't really win. But I think I can even remember, what was it, last year at Coffee Break, we talked about Savesies. Savesies is a Philly tradition, and probably in other places on the East Coast. Anybody want to talk about Savesies for the uninitiated? Tom Zoller, we got all types of superstars up in here. What's up, TZ? Tom Zoller, America's Tom Zoller says, shoveling snow is part of my exercise regimen. It is good. I mean, it's good cardio, but you gotta like, don't overdo it, you know? Kitty says, we ain't young no more. It's official for us at our age to go. Time to let the young cubs earn their keep. Well, it's funny. My buddy Mike, Mark's brother, was just talking yesterday about how in his neighborhood you never see kids walking down the street wanting to like get paid to shovel snow. Like that just doesn't, they're just not out there. Like, back in the day you could kind of just kind of wait around and somebody would ring your doorbell and there'd be some kids out like, yo, can we shovel you out? And then I think if they do it, they're really expensive. Like for a kid to do a crappy job on the front of your house and they want $20. Suze was like, oh hell, TZ in the house. TZ in the house. Carlos says, if you have to shovel, plan for it. Yes. Carlos is a planner. Go out there every 2 inches and don't wait until it's over. Shoveling 12 plus inches at once is really bad. Yes, that is something I've learned in my old age. We've been through enough snowstorms to know. And even though you're like, I'll wait till it stops. Yo, that's the go-getter right there. Plus, like the snow we had the last couple of days, the first day was real light and fluffy. Day 2 was like wet and heavy, and day 3 was light again. And if you just wait to the end of all this, you got that ice. It made up basically an ice sandwich, and you got that hard, heavy stuff in the middle. And I broke my shovel, my favorite shovel. I broke the handle off. I'm pissed, but like Carlos says, I was out there like heavy. We were out there a lot, so you got to stay on top of that. That should be in somebody's like civic learning class, like how to shovel snow. Sue says, what about a snowblower? You know what? I just got one and I'm still learning how to use it. And what's funny about it is like, this is another thing I'm learning, and maybe some of you guys who have like are in pretty heavy winter areas and have snow blowers or snow throwers know is that from what I've learned, you still can't wait to like go out there and expect this miracle machine to make the snow disappear. It's easier, but it's still work. Like just making sure it's running and it's going in the right direction and it gets in there. Like you can gunk it up if there's rocks and sticks. It's just like a lawnmower, right? And if it's too much snow, it won't work. And if it's too wet, it might start gumming it up. You know what I mean? There's all these variables with the snowblower, things that I'm still learning. So I think a lot of people kind of like look out their window and go, oh, Jeff down the street's got a snowblower. Come do me, Jeff. Like it's like, oh, okay, like that, like it solves everything. But I'm learning it's just not that easy. Mark says, over 20 years ago, I had energy to shovel my driveway and sidewalk, as well as my neighbor across the street, whom I knew was elderly and needed help. Now I need help. Word. You only shovel small. Hey, Mark, is the sky still orange out in the West Coast? Is that over with? Paul Pate says, I think a powerful snowblower will grind through everything. Was that some Tim Allen home improvement stuff? I guess, like I said, I'm still new to that game, so I couldn't be like, oh, you need a 5,000 HP, blah blah blah, with the Hemi. Like I don't get down with all of that. And I see like on QVC and HSN, they sell these little battery powered things, and like I just don't trust that. It's like when it's snowing and you're like, oh, time to snow blow, and you go and unplug the thing from the wall. Like, is that really going to cut it? Mark says, oh, hey, what up, Joe? Hold on a second. I'll get right back to you, Joe. Mark says, where's Iceman and Torch when you need them? What up, Big Red? Joe says, I judge snowfall by how many pots of coffee to take out. What up, Eternity Forever? Okay. Get a flamethrower. You know what the cops would do with me if I had a flamethrower? I know I missed some stuff. Colleen said, Philly snow is just enough to be inconvenient. We're mediocre at dealing with it because we don't do it every day to get good at clearing it. But it's not like 1 inch will shut down society. That's true. Like in Georgia, a couple of years ago where it was like the world was on fire. But I understand it's like you're not used to snow. You don't have snow. Your car is not set up for snow. And you're like, oh, what's this white stuff on the ground? And you're doing 70 and you're going up a tree, right? It's just, I think there's something to, know how to drive in snow, right? And, also, especially when you see people get stuck with like big SUVs and these giant explorers and stuff. And one of my buddies said, I can't get the quote right, trucks don't make you stuck. They just make you get stuck in worse places. Eternity says, I'm here. Sorry I missed Jerry Kraft. I fell asleep. That's like the famous Metal Gear NES quote. I feel asleep. JRD from his cloud says cops would be jealous AF. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, what up, Bros? Bros is tuning in with the supporter shield in hand. That's what's up. It's good to see you, bro. Mark says, I still remember Snowmageddon in 2010. Back-to-back blizzards where we were measuring in feet, not inches. Mark, where are you at? I can't remember. You're not in Philly, right? I can't. So many cartoonists, not enough time. Paul Pate says, kids are at home inside warm trading games. Yo, everybody, where you park the Lamborghinis at your house, Paul Pate? Lamborghini. Yo, remember that guy? What happened to those dudes? Like, the YouTube pitch, like snake oil pitchmen. Like every time you put one on YouTube or Facebook, there was a guy who was standing in front of an infinity pool. you know what's more important than cars? Books. But I can't get to my books because my Lamborghini is parked in front of my Lamborghini, and then I have my Lamborghini around the corner from my red Lamborghini. Wasn't his name like Ty something? Didn't they expose him? Like there were all these dudes all of a sudden who were showing you how to like get rich quick, but you had to like take their course or something. And I think they like exposed this guy. They're like, yeah, so that house that he's in, like, is right here on Zillow as being like you went in on an open house. It just took these videos. I don't know. We could talk about that. Eternity Forever says, I'm watching Tim Fielder on the Black Tribbles YouTube at the same time as you. I'm so divided. Oh, I should go on the Black Tribbles joint to tell Tim I couldn't. I was late because I was watching Rachel Maddow. Shout out to the Black Tribbles, great crew of podcasters out in Philly stand up. I've known those guys for a long time, and I have a Tribbles code name. I think my name was Scribble Tribble. I don't know. I think I had two, but you'll have to ask Cruz about that. Tim deserves everything he's getting, so I'm really proud of him. Paul says, yes, the get rich guys are awesome. You don't really see them anymore. They kind of just got like filtered out. Oh, Mark, you're in the DMV area. That's what's up. Oh, wow. I kind of, I was pretty young, but nothing compares to the 78 blizzard. That foes making snow tunnels. How many was it feet? Was it like 5 feet of snow or something, Joe? I kind of remember that. We were talking about last night the Philly storm in '96, which was pretty rough. I remember that, and the apartment that we had, the roof caved in. Wait a minute, no. We had another big one. I think it was like 2002 or something like that. 3.5 feet. Mark says, get rich quick and go to prison even quicker. Get rich quick. I can't remember the rest of that. So I had some stuff I wanted to talk about. And I was talking. This came up with. I was talking to Kenny Wong. Kenny Wong, sip of coffee for Kenny Wong. And somehow we started talking about wash and fold. I don't know how that happened. You'll be dead by the time you reach the fifth marker, or whatever that quote is. Well, I'll see you in hell. Yeah. And we're talking about laundry. All of you guys out there, I'm sure your drawers get dirty and you need to clean them. You may have a washer and dryer in your domicile. You might have. So I'm thinking about all the different like hood things. You might have had a washer, but the dryer was broke, so you had to take your wet clothes to the laundromat. You might have had a dryer, but the washer was broke, so you had to ask your neighbor or your cousin to help wash the clothes. You had none of that, and you had to go to the laundromat. But one thing that's really not a Philly thing is a wash and fold, and that seems like a very New York thing. For you guys who are in different cities and areas, maybe you could tell me about this. If you don't have laundry facilities, do you tell me about your laundry experience? Do you have laundry day where it's like a Sunday afternoon where you pack up a bunch of bags and then you hoof it over to the laundromat and you stay there all day with a good book? If you have laundry in your house, do you do a load when you have a minute? Like, do you just throw things in the washing machine until it's full? And don't they say you shouldn't fill the washing machine? The clothes don't get clean. You gotta kind of do like a half joint. Do you line dry? Not now, but that used to be a thing. Like I knew people who didn't believe in the dryer. Like your clothes just were never really the same after they went through the dryer. Yo, Jason Wise, what up, bro? I love that you came back around, man. It's good to see you. Kitty Wong with the coolest typo. Todd's froze abs. That's what's up. Colleen knows what I'm talking about. Oh man, lugging wet clothes to the laundromat. That's the worst. And what's even worse is say you got to go to the laundromat and there's not any near you, and you have to get on the bus to go to the laundromat, or you got to catch a cab to the laundromat. This is like before Uber. I'm not even talking about jumping in a Lyft. Like you had to, and this is like a Philly thing. Like you might have to get a dollar cab or a taxi hack. Like some dude with a Bluetooth and a gold tooth, a blue and gold tooth. You give him a couple bucks, he'll take you to the laundromat and he might come get you. Let's talk about that. Joe says laundromat for duvets and comforters. Look at that, man. This is grown-up business as we wash our sheets. Mark says that's the nice part about LA. It's always warm, so we line dry. You know what? That's one of my favorite scents. Not like I'm a candle dude, but like anytime you have like there's a minute where something can be scented, like there's a candle in the kitchen, or you have what do you call it? Air fresheners in your car. I always like clean clothes, like what do you call that? Kind of what do they call it? Like clean linen or cotton. Or like those kind of just like really like smoothed out fragrances. I like the smell of clean stuff. Kenny Wong says, lug that laundry cart up and down 6 floors to go around the corner to the laundromat. Leave it for 45 minutes, come back, stick it in the dryer for 30 minutes, then pinch and fold. Oh, well, there's like, especially like if you live in an apartment complex or something like that, there's like rules to this. Like if you leave your stuff in the washer too long and then you come back, it's on the floor in a heap because you waited too long. And there's like only two washers, and my man was just like, plap, like threw your shit on the floor. What's even worse is getting your stuff stolen out of the washing machine or at the laundromat. You can't leave your shit unattended. Don't be that dude. Now I think Kenny might have a system, right? I think Kenny might have a GPS joint in his laundry. He keeps in close vicinity, sharking around the laundromat. But yeah, it's real easy to get your stuff stole in the laundry. Marsh says you should come up with your own Glade set. Lie Dry by J Bar. I like it. Angela Sky, yo, where you been? Yo, all these superstars up in here. We got a full house. I love it. Angela says, yes, I love the clean linen scent. Yes, yes. Clean says, when I lived in North Carolina, before I got a washer dryer, I had to go to the laundromat. We had laundry facilities at the apartment, but they sucked. If I go early on Tuesday mornings, or like early AF, trying to get enough quarters was so bad. It was like $250 a machine, and it only took quarter. Yeah, yeah. You have, and like if the bill changer doesn't work in the thing, you're screwed. Or you might just have like a mayonnaise jar with quarters in it. Like these are laundry quarters. Don't touch these. All this stuff is really important. Back in the day, we used to go. Like one of the biggest things in my area in Philly for a while was finding the good laundromat. Like it's so hard to find a good laundromat. And then if you get a good laundromat, you find the good machines. And the good machines are always taken. But you see a lot of people taking shorts at the laundromat. Like they'll go into the way back to the top loaders where you just put like they jam way too much stuff in the laundry in the machine, right? And then it starts spinning real weird because it's unbalanced. But it's almost like there's like a weird laundry economy where like the bigger machines, which usually the newer machines probably cost more than the smaller machines, but they do a better job cleaning your clothes. Oh, man, this is like hashtag adulting stuff. Mark says, my grandmother line dried the bed sheets during warm weather, but she had a washer dry for the rest. Lived out in rural Virginia. Yeah. Joe says, Kitty has his clothes with the low jack. I love it. Protected by Viper. Stand back. Mike says, got to keep your undies chipped. Track them dudes like FedEx. That's what's up. Colleen says, ugh, if you were short on time, they had the ultra dryers. They charge like $10, only quarter. What's up with you with the quarters? Well, like a lot of those laundry mats, like they may not have bill changers, like the really nice new ones. They have like you just put $1 in it and it just goes. But a lot of those old spots is just quarters. Carlos says, hit the bank to get that roll of quarters, making sure you skip a few out the roll to hit the arcade later. Yo, it was a good day. We used to take these little field trips to Atlantic City with my mother, and it would be me and my boy Anthony, and we'd be in the backseat bugging and like, you know, flip it off people driving by, and we would get. My mother would go to the bank and we would get a roll of quarters, or maybe two, I don't forget, and immediately run to the arcade and we played Double Dragon for real. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to go to the arcade. And Carlos knows anytime they're back in the Nirvana time of arcades up and down Center City, like on Chestnut Street. You just hit the arcade heavy. All right, let me finish this laundry thing. Angela says, I love the way you read our words. You fully commit to how we type. You're the best. Thanks, Angela. I miss you so much. Hey, let's do an ID. You're watching Coffee Break with JN. With me, JN. Hold on, you ready for it? Hold on. Grand Poobah of Indie Comics. I've had this hoodie for a long time. Or also doing business as Johnny Carson. Jerry Kraft made that one up. What happens here? Well, me and the caffeines, you know the caffeines. Watch out. We got coffee mugs coming. We get together at 9 p.m. EST on Thursdays and we chop it up and we hang out and watch me drink coffee and run my mouth. And when I'm out of coffee, you know what happens next. Suze will tell you. Suze knows what happens next. Tell him, Suze. Suze says, one bad hurricane came through and we were out of power for 13 days. Oh my God. We had no clean laundry and had to go to the laundromat. Today, if they were calling for bad weather, I wash everything in sight quick. Preparedness. If I have to get stuck in the apocalypse, I want Suze on my team, as she knows what's up. That's funny. So while everybody else is at the supermarket buying M&Ms and bread, you're at the laundromat or you're washing all your clothes down in the basement. Talking about the quarters thing, Colleen says, some have reloadable cards like a Starbucks. Yes, you can use your credit card to load your laundry cards. So, and Eternity says, I used to bring $5 of quarters. I'd have just enough to wash and dry with that, right? Like down to the quarter. Like in the top loader joints where it's got the ka-chunker, and it's like they have like these little divots, these little indentations where you put the quarters, and then you push it into the machine, and then they disappear. And there's somehow it knows what you're doing, so you can't ever cheat it. When I was younger, I used to try to cheat the machine. But if you're a quarter off, you're screwed. You gotta count that out. And this is how they get you. While you're waiting for something to dry, you're like standing in front of the vending machine like, yo, those Takis look real fresh right now. But yeah, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Stay out of the vending machine. Yo, Monty, what's up? I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Where y'all been hiding? You know, Coffee Break with JN is always here for you, Amani, to envelop you in a cathode ray hug. Angela says, "Ha, the ka-chunker." Now I'll hear that in my head every time. I'm very comic book sound effects, onomatopoeia, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Colleen says, so much easier than quarters. I'm a millennial. We do not carry cash, especially not quarters. Why? What did it get to this thing? That's right. No decaf. Well, that's what I was getting to. So, like, there was a couple of times I was in New York and I was staying at a friend's who had a apartment in Hell's Kitchen and let me stay there for one of the New York Comic Cons. And like part of the deal, it wasn't really the deal, but it was just kind of like after I was done with the apartment, I needed to wash the sheets, right? So, and I had a bus, like I had to just figure this out. And I'm like, I'm in New York. I'll just do wash and fold. And I didn't think again about it. And I was like, where in Hell's Kitchen can I find a? And I walked out of the apartment and I made a left and there's a laundry mat that does wash and fold. And I brought a duffel bag and I boom right on the table. I think I paid probably too much. It was probably $28 for some sheets. New York, man, you guys kill me. And then I came back later that evening. It got a nice little bundle, put it right on the edge of the bed. As I said, don't worry about it. Just clean the sheets. And I was out. And I guess what I'm getting at is that the idea about taking your clothes, your special clothes, your intimates to a laundromat and then handing them to somebody and saying, okay, cool, I'll be back after work, is not something a lot of people can do. Like, you have a very personal connection with your clothes, right? It's different than like lending somebody your Nintendo game. Like, yo, man, I need Tecmo Bowl back by the end of the week. But it's like, yeah, I'm handing you this bag with my drawers. So I wonder if any of you guys have any experience with wash and fold. And kind of what I'm getting at, and I might have talked to Colleen about this a long time ago, was that the older you get, and really this kind of turns into like where you are in the world and what you have access to and what's on your plate. The older you get, and this is where I was going. When you're young, this is like my college conversation. When you're young, Money is more important than time. When you're older, time is more important than money, which means if you have the means or whatever, I would rather pay somebody to do this than me spend the time to do it myself. When you're young, back when young people actually did stuff, you could pay somebody a case of beer and a couple of pizzas to move your apartment for you, right? Because the currency is different when you're young. That's all out the window now. I don't think it works the same. And I've gotten into things where people say, "Hey, Jamar, college kids, I need a kid to come over here and mow my lawn." Like, they don't do that anymore. And they're like, "What?" Like, yeah, college kids don't do free labor like that. Well, I was going to give them some pizzas. You got to pay them, yo. They do not work like that anymore. So I'm going to read some of these and see what you guys come up with. And Khalid says, back to the laundromat, do not go for the vending machines, though I swear they keep the heat cranked up and try to tempt you with a Coke. I think that's true. JRD says, Mom and I were once on the dole, so when she could, she bought a washer dryer and never looked back. It really is a game changer. Kenny, I'm going to get to yours. Paul says, I don't even let my wife do the laundry. That's your thing? I think that's a very special thing. Like, if you're cool with doing the laundry, that's your thing. Yo, what up, Charles? How are you? He's like, hey, how you doing? I don't know the Southern Ohio accent. You're gonna have to enunciate for us. How you doing? I know a couple of Ohioans too, but they're the way they talk is so muted. Like, I can't really place it like people from the deep South or Pennsylvania. Kenny Wong says, nobody needs to see all my holy undies. That's why I do my own laundry. Colleen says, we still move our friends for beer and pizza. Yeah. Come back to me in 5 years. We'll see how you feel about that. Angela says, see, Angela Sky, everybody learns something at Coffee Break with JN. Angela posits, I never thought about that. The value of time and money depending on your age and life stage. So true. But I do enjoy doing things with my hands, I guess because it gives me a mental break from social media and TV. Yeah, back when in the before times, this is years ago, and I would go to the laundromat, and my lady hated the laundromat, and I didn't care so much. And that was just kind of the thing. It's like, you know what? I'll just go. It's fine. It's not causing me any stress. But it's just the act of getting to the laundromat sometimes is just the hardest thing in the world. Unless you're totally out, where you're down to your emergency underwear, the ones the last one at the back of the drawer where you're like, oh, I got to do laundry. That's a really dangerous place. That's when people go shopping. I'm so bored / tired / exhausted / whatever, I'll just go buy new clothes, right? And that turns into a real bad whirlwind of stuff, right? You'll go buy clothes rather than wash what you have. So now you have the new clothes that are now dirty and the old clothes that are dirty that are now causing a clothes pyramid in your house. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a thing. And like I said, I'm not saying this in any way that oh, well, you should do this or you should do that, but things change the older you get. And if you have and I would say this to some of the college kids too. They're like, yo, Jan, what are you talking about? You have somebody I had a laundry manager of one of the laundromats in the area. I walked in and the lady who was super sweet says, oh yeah, I do wash and fold. And I was like, word. And I didn't trust it, but I liked her a lot. And, she was really I don't even know why I'm thinking I have to have this trustworthy relationship with the laundry lady. But I was like, I don't think she's going to steal my polo. I think it's okay. So it's like, okay, we'll try it. So I said, how does this work? She's like, well, you pay by the pound. And really, it's kind of like a 10-pound minimum. But like a sack of clothes is like 10 pounds or probably a little bit more, like 15, 16. But I'm fat. So my clothes are bigger, which means I pay more for my laundry. And if you're like a little thin mint Smurfette, you're going to pay less for your wash and fold because you can put more stuff because it's a weight thing, not a, right? So I said, so how does this work? She's like, you pay by the pound, you bring it in, and when I'm done, I'll call you up and either you can come get it or I'll drop it off. I was like, what? I said, that's worth $20 that I didn't have to spend my afternoon on a Saturday in the laundromat. Right. And I'm not special. The same $20 that you're putting in the laundromat, you could give to the lady and come back the next day. But it's kind of like there's a thing. It's like, well, that's for somebody else, or well, I'm not doing that. Right. It's all perception. Right. I saw Tom Zoller wrote something really interesting here. Tom says, I agree, and it's math. In the before times, I'd occasionally have someone clean my house because I could make more drawing an hour than they charge to clean. See? But that's another thing, right? And that's like, that's just something that people think is for someone else, right? And it's also like a comfortability level. Some people were just like raised in a thing. It's like you do everything this way. This is how it's done, and you make time for chores. And if you do a little bit every day during the week, you won't have to worry about it, right? But everybody has a different thing. But I totally understand that. But if I was younger, Tom, and you said to me, "Oh, I have a house cleaner." It's not even right to say like I have a housekeeper because it's probably not like that. You may have a service that comes by every month or every 2 weeks, and they clean up, and then they're gone in like an hour. And then you don't worry about it. But I would say to the college kids, because they're like, I don't have money for that. I was like, well, think about it. The money you spend on beer, weed, and concert tickets, you could have had somebody, you could have dropped your clothes off across the street at the wash and fold. And they're like, oh, wow. Right? It's still money. It's still the same money. It's just what you do with it. We're never getting out of here. Sue says, oh my God, my mama hated that dad would wear holy undies. So she would rip the waistband off then completely off of them completely so he couldn't fish them out of the trash. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Paul Pate says, damn, we pay to get our groceries delivered. Paying to get laundry picked up and delivered might be the ticket if my drawers weren't so bad. You might have to wash your own drawers, bro. Tom says, exactly. It was for special events and stuff. Yeah. Joe says, don't take away my image of Tom being like Sherlock having a Mrs. Hudson. Amadi says, that's bougie. See, that's what I mean, right? It's like just the thought of that. And especially with black folks, right? Like I was raised to be paranoid. Like even doing these things were really hard for me at the beginning because I'm just not used to like, if I could just do this in front of like behind like in front of a black screen with a swinging light bulb, I would. But it's kind of like we're just the way I grew up. You don't trust anybody. You don't let people in your house. You don't let people in your house long enough so they can start looking at stuff. The idea of having somebody show up at your house and clean it and you not be there, like on top of all that, you're not home, is like the dumbest thing you could ever say. So I understand the feelings that sounds real bougie. But like I said, that's not really my twist. But there are options. Like I said, the wash and fold is probably the easiest thing to talk about. It's would you spend in a crowded laundromat on a weekend? How long you sit in the laundromat? At least 3 hours. maybe 4 if the machines are slow. Um, is that worth your time when you could maybe spend the same money, maybe a little bit more, to drop that off and have it show up nicely pressed and taken care of? Something to think about. Tom, TZ always comes with the real rap. Tom says, same reason I have an accountant. I could figure it out, but it's just better for me to make things and have my accountant do all the numbers and stuff, and less risk of me popping embolism. Super true. Carlos says, when we were in a heavy crunch phase, the studio offered laundry services to everyone, so many of the spouses jumped all over that. Yeah. Kitty Wog, to quote Bill Paxton from Terminator, laundry day, no clean clothes. I miss Bill Paxton. Yo, sip of coffee from Bill Paxton. Oh, wow, we're running out of time again. Where's the time go? I know I missed a lot of stuff here. Let me go back in. Amani says, I had a college roommate who never did laundry. Piles of clothes were all over the place. I bet it didn't smell great either. Mark says, as Sinbad described it, college kids have 2 types of laundry, dirty and funky. Dirty we can wear again. Funky goes to class by itself. Oh, the comedy stylings of Sinbad. But also that got even more dangerous when they invented Febreze. Febreze, for maybe 5 or 6 years, people thought you didn't have to wash clothes anymore because you just tag that up. Do a crotch spray and you were out. It's super gross. And you can smell this. People don't do the Febreze thing anymore, but you could smell a kid walk by that smells like Febreze. You're not fooling me. Kenny Wong says, save money. Is there another part of this? Kenny Wong says, save money from paying someone to do your laundry so you can use it for new comics. If you're single, maybe it's good to go to the laundromat because you can meet a honey doing laundry. Maybe show her a guy doing his own laundry is dateable. That's a nice little pickup right there. That's a tip from a PUA pickup artist. Eternity, bring in the middleman just to do your laundry or accounting. The Silver Fox. Oh man! Don't forget Axe body spray. Oi, you could asphyxiate from that stuff. I remember the Axe era. That's so funny. But yeah, I think the room is divided. There's some people who are like really not about the idea of having somebody do stuff for you. So, and what is that? Is it the money? Is it the principle of it? Right? Like, and see, and going back to what Kenny said, I'm wondering, because New York is so expensive, is, let's say, if you know, like, let's say Kenny, and I don't know how Kenny's deal is, but let's say Kenny knows that his weekly load of laundry is $25, right? That's to, hit the machines. You got the colors, you got your whites, you got your, you got the I was gonna say you put cashmere in the washing machine, but you got your fine washables, got the dryer, get a couple snacks out the John. Or the wash and fold is $30, right? And it's not about nickel and diming, but it's just kind of like, I wonder about that thing that would stop somebody from thinking, oh, well, maybe that could work out. Ah, Monty, there you go. You hit it right on the nail, bro. The illusion that our labor saved us money. And that's the time money thing again. See, it comes back around. Colleen says, going back to Axe, oh Lord, I went to high school at the peak of the Axe double pits to chesty. I choke with the thought of Axe body spray. Oh man, those kids in their UFO jeans and Jinkos with product in their hair. Double pits to chesty. Paul Pate sums it up. It ain't the money, it's my clothes. They're mine. Nobody's touching them. Okay, you have your drawers, Paul Pate. You seem very aggressive tonight. Is everything okay? Face palms. Oh, wow. Kitty says my laundry average every 2 weeks sets me back $8 to $10. Wow. I'm very efficient at wearing my clothes. That's what's up. So you're not like a stain guy. Well, every time I wear a certain type of clothes, I'm like, I miss my face and I drop shit on it. Mark says, for me right now, the cost is too prohibitive to even consider hiring someone to clean my clothes or living space. I suppose I wouldn't pay for it even if I could afford it. Yeah, see, and again, I'm not saying that's like I do that. I don't like, I have a washer in the basement and I wash clothes. But, there was a point where I did that because the wash and fold thing, because and maybe this is why this is such a big thing in Philly and maybe other cities. I think New York is so tightly packed and people are so like, I gotta go take care of this stuff, that sitting in a room watching laundry spin around in a machine is just not worth the time. So, that's kind of why I brought it up. We went a whole episode talking about laundry. It's very interesting. I love studying how people do the business. That's kind of anthropology, right? Sue said, if I had the money, I would have a housekeeper, a landscaper, a car washer, but would still cook and wash clothes. But I'm intrigued by this wash and fold service. See, it's not a thing everywhere. But there was maybe 5-10 years ago, people like the hipsters started invading Philly and starting these new startups. And one was a laundry service where almost like Uber, like Uber Eats or like DoorDash, but you would call this place and they will come get your laundry, kind of like a little laundry service. Like if you've ever worked for a place where at the end of the night, the restaurant puts all the tablecloths and the aprons in satchels, and then they drop it off, and the guy picks it up and takes it and washes it. Kind of the same thing. You could like use this app, and then on Sunday the truck will show up, and you give them your bag, and then by the end of the day they bring it back. I don't know. That sounds good to me. But like Kenny said, or you can meet some shorties at the laundromat. Joe says, I learned well the ways of self-sufficient life, mostly due to my mom and pop. I know guys who depend on their wives and girlfriends. That's true. Maybe the next time we could talk about cooking. There's a lot of people I know who don't know how to cook. I don't know how you get that far. Amani says, just like a hipster to make laundry service seem high tech. Yeah, you just kind of make an app around it and it sounds new. Kenny says, I think doing your own laundry or cleaning your own house has some part sense of productivity personally and another part productivity. It's just keeping myself busy and balancing my time so I take a weekend off from tech. It's just a nice feeling. No, I understand. And there's the sense of completion. And we talk about this once in a while, but finishing something is really satisfying, right? So I understand that too. But, what I like about you caffeines is that you're all adults and you even think about this stuff. Would 24-year-old, Axe body spray dude Febreze crotch, would he be thinking about, I really need to clean my crib, and make sure all my stuff is nice and folded nice? What did you say, Kenny, in the chat? Something about the Japanese fold technique? You might have to send me a video on that. Hold on, I'm going to try to do this video one more time for Joel Carroll. Joel, you still watching? Yeah, this drawing is broke. Let me try this. Oh, this quality is horrible. YouTube's not down, is it? Screw it. Um, oh, Kitty says, correction, productivity and saving money. Okay. Mark says, I've been doing a lot of cooking during this pandemic. And at the beginning of this, it was great. And everybody's baking bread. And then people are like, I'm so sick of cooking and cleaning up and cooking and cleaning up and cooking and cleaning up. So it's good that are you enjoying it? Colleen says, and we're going to sign off soon. My husband is a self-sufficient launderer. I hate laundry. Stupid, frustrating, never-ending job. See what I mean? Not everybody feels the same way about certain chores. I'd rather scrub a bathroom. At least it looks better when it's all tidied up. Paul says, nice feeling when your drawers are all squared off and in a nice pile. Angela Sky says, Co-Marie method, the Marie Kondo effect. Method of folding, you mean? I've been doing that recently. Joel, you're here. Good to see you. Joe says, are you saying we've progressed from Padawan to Knight to Master of Jedi Domestics? yeah, you can cut off your rat tail now because you're not a Padawan anymore. Angela says, do you throw your clothes randomly in the drawer, or do you do regular folding, or do you use the Co-Marie method? You don't have to tell us. No, everything's like, I have a lot of t-shirts, and one thing I just did is they should sponsor me. I just got rid of a bunch of my graphic tees and made a quilt out of it. Like I had a bunch of video game t-shirts, and one thing that happened with the quarantine was that, like, I almost feel like my clothes reduced by 50% because I'm not really going outside, and it's just like, why do I have all these shirts? You know what I mean? And that's the thing with guys, we love our t-shirts because what else do we have in this world, right? But I thought it'd be cool to take like a theme of t-shirts. I have a lot of video game t-shirts. And I got them made into a quilt. I didn't get them back yet. And when I get it, maybe I'll show it on camera. But I kind of like flat stack my t-shirts. I don't have like a roll and fold or anything like that. JRD will tell you, you can see my marker box over there is not in any order. And when I showed JRD my marker box, he got chills because it was so random. It messed him up. He was like, how do you find anything? Like, oh, there it is. I know where everything is. Mark says, I learned new recipes. Yes, I do enjoy it. TZ says, I started doing all those Disney duplicate recipes, made Dole whips and fried green tomato sandwiches. I was never home to enjoy doing that before. Yeah. What's your drink of choice, Tom? I'm sure you got the Shatner or something. Tell me about that. Suze knows what's up. Suze says, get your goodbyes in, y'all. JN don't play when he gives the go to wrap up signal. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. Say your goodbyes. Hold on. Look at it, JRD. That makes 0 sense. I don't want you to go into a seizure, so I'm going to close that. Thanks you, bro. Oh, I know you like wine, Tom. Tom, next time we see each other, we need to just drink some wine. That sounds really cool. But you don't smoke cigars, do you? I think I'd enjoy a cigar right now. Sue says, this was a complete blast again, y'all. My favorite way to spend a Thursday. Love the caffeines. I got some homework to do real quick. Hold on, let me get this in. GLO to my $2 patrons out there. Angela, Bill, Jeremy, Fabulize, Sky, Stan, Jim, Paul Pate, Jacob Jones, Goldstein, and Jay Claire. And I think there's some more. Thank you guys for your patronage. If you're interested at any point to become a patron of mine, on our Patreon. You can see the world famous It Ain't Hard to Tell question and answer podcast with my buddy Mike Hawthorne. That's worth the price of admission on itself. Do something new this month and check me out. It's Black History Month. Join my Patreon. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Angela says, wow, those Copics, so many of them. Oh, Julie, no, those are Prismas. We could talk about that a whole other time. All right, you guys, this was fun. Oh, look at that. We're doing new things. Tom says, I don't do cigars, but I'd be willing to try one with you next time we see each other. It's a date. Bonnie's like, yo, I was just saying I'm in the mood for a cigar. You guys, this was great. I had a lot of fun. I'll say you goodbye. So I'm going to finish this. I have like one last sip in here, and then I'll do the ID. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I was really kind of like tired, but I've been energized by the coffee and by your love. God willing, I'll be back here again next Thursday at 9 p.m. so we can chop it up. You all mean the world to me. It's great to see so many caffeines in here. And remember, I don't disappear. You can always check out Pencil to Pencil. We just had Jerry Kraft on last Wednesday. This Wednesday, we're going to have Jimmy Robinson on. You know Jimmy Robinson, Bomb Queen, Amanda and Gunn, old dyed in the wool image, Shadowline comic book artist. And I think Jimmy doesn't get enough credit, so I can't wait to talk to him. Wow. I don't even know what that says, Mark, but it sounds delicious. Oh, Mark, I've seen your sushi. I got to get that. So say good night. Another good evening as usual. Love y'all. Have a great night. Take a sip of JN for being dope. Thank you, bro. Yo, good night, y'all. Good night. I've enjoyed hearing about everybody's holy draws and laundry habits. We're never going to run out of stuff to talk about on Coffee Break with JN. That's what my friendship is, running my mouth, and I'll always have something to talk about. All right, you guys. You've been watching Coffee Break with JN. I am JN. The Grand Poobah of indie comics, the Kevin Bacon of comic books. And I proved that last night when everybody was like, oh, wow, yeah, I know that guy. It's true. And also Johnny Carson. What happened here tonight? I'm just going to run these through. You got to hang out with me and my caffeines. Well, we chopped it up real lovely. Tom, it was great seeing you. Stick around more often, all right? And everybody watch me run my mouth and drink coffee. And now that I'm out of coffee, this video's over. Have a good night, guys.